Hey, I'm Nina, and I'm going to be talking about more summer trends. So I did a little summer trends predictions, quote unquote, video at the start of the summer, but now that we're in the thick of it, I have been noticing more trends kind of popping out. Some of them kind of tie into things I talked about before, but maybe manifested in new ways, that kind of thing. So the first one, which I've mentioned before, is what I'm calling old school prep. But the way that I have seen it like manifested or worn a lot is in navy. I feel like navy has been all over the place. It makes sense with the rise of more neutral outfits, with navy kind of tying in as a neutral. And I have just been seeing it so much in like sweaters, tops, pants, shoes, even like some leather bags and that kind of thing. Some other ways that old school prep is coming in is I've slowly been seeing more tweed, like in little dresses, fitted tops, and just seeing tailoring kind of in that way. I think as we get into fall, we're gonna see a lot more of like the little tweed, like lady jackets, that kind of thing. Just tweed as a texture. And I think it does make sense with a lot of the like old school preppy stuff that we've been seeing, that tweed would come in, especially because as we're going for more simple silhouettes, tweed is such a good texture to kind of diversify what you're wearing a little bit. Also, one to just like shout out that we've already been seeing a lot of is horse prints and like horse iconography, but also I think from that we're going to start to see more and more of these other kind of traditionally preppy iconography. We've already been seeing loads of shellfish, but also thinking about like maybe ducks, maybe some like chains, like the horse bit chains and closures, like the stuff that you see on like old lady silk scarves. I feel like we're gonna just go deeper and deeper into these old school places in all the different ways we can. And so I feel like it makes sense to me that we're gonna start seeing some of these other like preppy animals and things. And I also wanna go into what I'm kind of seeing as the evolution of indie sleaze. I think what's happening now is like full-on boho, I think, is coming back, and like little boho elements, and feels really natural that it would be coming back now in the summer, because it's like the time of like flowy dresses and like puffy sleeve tops, like literally what I'm wearing, but also like raffia bags and hemp and I don't know, all these little like hippie moments. The tiered skirts that have been all over the place too is like very classically boho. Also, I feel like we're going to start seeing way more cow hair bags, not like the cow print on canvas and on everything that we had in like 2020-ish, but the like actual cow like fur bags and maybe even shoes, I think would be really, really cool. And I think we're going to start to see more of. Also for the like evolution of boho and kind of thinking about that, but also kind of going off of that, I feel like we're going to see more jewelry in unconventional ways. I think a while back, like last year, I talked, or maybe just earlier in the winter, I talked about how we were seeing like all these little charms and like brooches and that kind of thing in unconventional ways. But I think we're going to see even more jewelry in unconventional ways. I think it makes sense also as an evolution of the whole like bag charms, personalizing your bag situation. Also just like personalizing your belt loops or using a really long necklace as like a waist chain. Also thinking about the Alaya flats that have the almost like metallic, it's like a metal almost bracelet cuff that goes over your foot. That also feels like a manifestation of jewelry in unexpected ways. And then I also feel like anklets are just, it's summer, it's the time of anklets, but I feel like a little anklet we're going to start to see way more. And I also feel like anklets tie in with the whole boho thing. You know what I mean? Going from the boho, thinking about that, I feel like boho has a lot of roots in 70s, and I feel like we are already seeing lots of 70s trends coming back, whether it's like the giant really cool sunglasses or the 70s witchy Stevie Nicks vibe pieces with like the lace-up boots that Olivia Rodrigo was wearing in that one little outfit with the dress. Also, I feel like the by far lace-up boots that go all the way to the toe are gonna have a big revival, maybe as we get closer into fall, but like lace-up boots I think are coming back. Also, thinking about how like the micro short trend is in. I feel like micro shorts with like a fry boot is a very 70s kind of look. And then the like tiered skirts again, and just like the boho-ness feels very 70s. But I think another 70s trend coming back that I haven't heard anyone else talk about is like full-on platform shoes. Not like the flatforms from like Y2K style, but full on like a big platform under your toe and then a big platform on the heel, like very classic. I think because we've all been really into kitten heels and like we just need a new trend every 10 minutes, I think we're going to start to see full-on platform shoes become really big again. And also from there, just like wedges. Not, again, the flatform wedges, but like a classic kind of slimmer shaped wedge, or especially wedges with kind of like sculptural elements, like a sculptural heel, or even a lot of the kitten heels we're seeing have like the little sculptural kind of heel that I have been really into. And so I feel like, again, as we're getting into these more like minimal shape silhouettes, minimal outfits, I think we are finding ways to bring interest in more subtle ways, like a sculptural heel or a sculptural buckle on something, but just these very kind of like organic shapes I think we're going to start seeing all over the place. And then also thinking about sculptural pieces in summer fabrications, and specifically more like tailored, I don't want to say stiff, but like pieces that are playing with silhouette and shape, like away from your body, but you still really feel the structure of them. There's this one Tibby top that I am thinking of, but also just like a lot of the big flowy dresses we've been seeing haven't been like straight down flowy. They've been like kind of bubbly, or like thinking about the whole bubble hem trend. And then for some specific colors that I think are gonna be bigger this summer, fall, whatever, summer. We're sticking with summer. This summer is this one muted gray, brown, purple gray color that I can't define, and I think that's part of why it works, because it kind of goes with everything because it's such a murky kind of color. I feel like colors like this are a really good way to soften contrast in an outfit, or like soften a really bright color, or soften a black or a bright white, to make them not feel so stark. So I think we're gonna see a lot more of that. Next trend is big accessories. So we've already been seeing big hair accessories with like the scrunchies, chunky earrings, chunky jewelry in general. I feel like everybody's been really into big bags, and I think in that vein, we're gonna see more and more like fabric and knit big bags, because one, big leather bags are really expensive, but I feel like big fabric bags and big knit bags are a really good way, again, to bring in another texture to an outfit, and also a really good way to bring in color or pattern. We're gonna see a lot of like striped big fabric bags, maybe even plaid ones, that polka dot one from Nina Boho. So kind of taking into account some of those old school prep prints and iconography into these big fabric bags. I feel like a big fabric bag like that can make any outfit feel like a little bit more effortless. And I think it's just because it's like you could put everything in there. You could put your groceries in there. You could put a book in there. You could put your laptop in there. But they have a little pattern, a little fun, and I think it's a really good way for folks who like more simple outfits to bring some pattern into an outfit without it feeling like too much or whatever. So then one fabric that I think is going to be huge just all over the place that I have already been starting to see is like chiffon, that sheer fabric, but not necessarily worn in like a sheer way, because at least for me, like I'm not going to walk around wearing a skirt where you can see my underwear. I just don't feel comfortable doing that, or a top where you can like fully see my bra. I don't feel comfortable doing that. But what I do feel comfortable with is wearing these like double layer kind of chiffon sheer mesh pieces that are not actually all the way transparent. So you kind of get that element of the sheer chiffon fabric without it being see-through. I'm pretty sure Realization Par has already put out a couple dresses like this, but also little like tank tops that have the double layer sheer, little frilly skirts. I think it's just gonna be big. It feels very 2000s to me, and I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen more of it already with how big like Y2K 2000 style has been. But I think it makes a lot of sense for the kind of like slinky, sexy little outfit pieces to go into being that kind of sheer double layer fabrication, because it feels so feminine and like flirty and just cute, like very rom-com-y to me, and I love it. And then I've talked about this before, and I'm going to talk about it again. I think we love closures. So we got really into the bow, we've kind of moved on from that. And now we're seeing lots of buckles. I mean, the Miu Miu shoes, the Miu Miu boots, also like the Paloma wool bags, the big belt, lots of buckles. I've already talked about that. We're starting to see more buttons. I've heard a couple people start to touch on this. I don't think we're only going to see these buttons in terms of like as an applique on things, but I feel like more people are going to be wearing pieces that have buttons or like a button closure as the point of interest in a top, whether it's like a stand collar with a little button closure, or just like a top that is having fun with like a hook and eye closure, but just letting closures be one, like part of the design of something instead of having it be hidden, whether it's like emphasis on a zipper or emphasis on like the buttons like I talked about, or emphasis on the hook and eye of like almost a bustier top. But I think Also looking at tops that have like weird buttons. So whether it's like something more sculptural, I just think closures are going to be all over the place. I think it can also play into jewelry in an interesting way, like letting the clasp of the necklace be the point of interest. My camera's about to die, so I'm going to try to wrap it up, but I'll have some more trends that I'll just do on TikTok or whatever. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this, like it. If you want to subscribe, please do. I'm so happy you're here, and I can't wait to see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.